Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to this conference, and I'm very pleased to talk to you about the work that we're doing in the European Commission on the hard-to-abate sectors. Last November we produced with the high-level group on energy-intensive industries a comprehensive master plan on how these sectors of the economy could reach climate neutrality and circularity by 2050. As you can see from this visual, there's a very close integration between the different sectors. They're all basic industries. They supply not only downstream customers but also each other. And the complex flows you can see here are going to intensify as we go forward. The master plan takes account of the fact that the energy-intensive industries form a substantial part of European industry and create a large part of the greenhouse gas emissions from the European Union. We managed to get this master plan out shortly before the European Green Deal strategy, where it is clearly reflected as a useful contribution. The document looks at 4 areas. It looks at how to create markets for clean products. It looks at how to develop the technologies and how to attract the investments that will be needed for this. It looks at the replacement of fossil fuels with fossil-free energy sources and feedstocks. It also looks at the question of security and supply and sustainability of raw materials, both primary raw materials and secondary raw materials. And the role of the circular economy is very important here. And then lastly, in a very cross-cutting way, we look at the social dimension. We look at the role of consumers, we look at the role of communities, we look at the question of skills, we look at the question of regions in transition. And the master plan produced a series of recommendations covering these different areas, which are attached in the annexes here if you are interested. But now I will home in on some very recent developments. Since we came out with the new industrial strategy in March, a lot of things have happened. We had almost at the same time COVID-19 hitting the European Union and disrupting supply chains around the world. We were very busy working with all the industries to assess the economic impacts and trying to put some measures in place to restore a little bit of common practices about freedom of flow of people and goods. And we also produced in May a recovery plan which amounts to around €750 billion, a one-off opportunity to recover from the COVID economic damage. And the way we position this is not just about getting sectors back on their feet as they were, but using it as a way to bounce forward to accelerate the transition towards the European economy becoming greener, more digitalized and more resilient. Of course, the climate and energy targets play an important part in driving change, and just a few days' time the Commission is expected to announce new targets for 2030. The figure that's been mentioned most in the press is a 55% target, which relates to the existing target of a 40% reduction by 2030. If you have any questions, I'll be pleased to hear them. Thank you.